Alright.
Yo! Hey there guys, and welcome to another Weeb Fight Club video. It's been a while, and there are a couple of reasons for that. One of the not quite so important reasons right now is COVID is hit the Weeb Fight Club house, but it doesn't matter. I've mostly been spending my time playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's kind of the main gist of it. If you're part of the Discord, you'll have noticed that there is an event going on Wednesdays in my hometown where we meet up and we play Yu-Gi-Oh! And other card games too, to be fair. We're open to playing Pokemon, Magic, all of the things. We quite like most of them. But there's Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments going on every Wednesday and possibly some Saturdays at the moment, so that's quite cool. With packs that you can only get from playing tournaments if you do well at the end of the month. So yeah, quite exciting times. I've been working hard on setting that up with one of our local stores, which has been really helpful. And yeah, so instead of playing fighting games recently, I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You can see we fight Club. Tried. I've got the plat border since the first season. I've been plat every season. One season I thought about trying to get plat 1, but I got bored. But my main thing is pretty much I just reach plat and I stop playing. I've been doing this with, I've got a couple decks, and I can go through most of them and show you combos and how to play them, but my main deck is my prank kits. Season 1 would probably have been this sort of budget prank kids deck, but I'll show you the main deck and talk through some of the combos and then show you some games. So, prank kids. Prank kids is quite a control archetype, or the way I play it at least is. I'm not sure if it's meant to be, but if you do well turn 1 and stop them doing most of their things turn 2, so if you go first, you want to get your everything set up to get Battle Butler out, and if you do, you can wipe their board multiple times on turn 1 for them, like their turn 2, and then by turn 3 you can just fill out your board more and go for the kill. That is the plan. It doesn't always happen like that, but a lot of the time it has paid off like that. So the main monsters you'll see are Prank Kid Fansies, Lampsies, Dropsies, and Roxies. Now, all of these cards have the same effect, where if you link summon them away for a Prank Kid's Link monster, then you do X thing and special summon a different Prank Kid. So for example, if I link summon away Dropsies, I would gain from 1000 life points and special summon a Roxy's, Lampsies, or Fansies from the deck. So, and then Fansies is you send a card to graveyard, Lampsies is 500 damage, and Roxy's is you banish a card from your hand and draw 1. So they're all pretty good effects. None of them are like negative effects. Even Fansies, because you can fetch a lot of things from your graveyard with multiple cards in this deck. So knowing them, obviously you only need to draw 1 of them to get the entire combo off, because of Prank Kid's Meow Meow Mew being a link 1 is so strong. So when you link into it, you get special summon another, then you've got 2 monsters on the field, so you can link into a link 2. Reason Meow Meow Mew is strong though is because a lot of Prank Kids cards, especially, well, most importantly Battle Butler, tribute themselves for their effects to go off. And instead of tributing the card on the field, if a Prank Kid monster you control would tribute itself to activate its effect during your opponent's turn, you can banish this card you control from your graveyard from your deck. Oh, you control or from your graveyard instead. What that means, or the big things to take away from that, only in your opponent's turn. Do not try and activate Battle Butler in your turn, because you will just get rid of it. We've all made that mistake at least once. The extra deck is almost entirely Prank Kids, and most of like the bulk of this deck isn't cheap. Is quite cheap apart from cards that are basically staples now. So you've got your Maxis for that insane draw power and trying to, stop your opponent from playing as much. Ash Blossom, Hand Trap Negate, Nibiru, Hand Trap Raigeki effectively. I do still run a Raigeki as well, I quite like having it. Then we've got Call by the Grave, Forbidden Droplet, Infinite Impermanence, and Solemn Judgment. So, everything else in this deck is quite cheap. Nothing is above a super rare apart from one Prank Kid. And that's all you actually need to run this deck. In the extra deck, I've got a couple extras I'll talk about later. So the actual deck list itself is Fansies, Maxi, Dropsies, all 3 elves so far, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Lampsies, and 3 Roxies. That's your main bulk of monsters. I've thrown in a Kaiju because I come up against Drytron a lot. In the lower ranks this won't matter as much, but Kaijus help a lot there, as well as Nibiru. Nibiru is definitely something I didn't make until very late on, like very recently, but sometimes you win games because your opponent surrenders as soon as you drop it against like Utopia, Synchro Summons, Cyberse. There's a lot of multiple summons going on, so many special summons, and this just shuts it down, including Prank Kids, to be fair. We got Araigeki, which you'll get through tutorials, destroy monsters, very good. Harpy Feather Duster, very good against Eldritch, so I run it a lot. Prank Kids Place, we run it as a one-off because you can search for it, or you can send it to the grave and get it out of the grave. But what it does is it allows you to add a Prank Kids monster to your hand, so that's very strong. It means if you draw at turn 1 and no monsters, you can still do your combo. Also, if you link summon while it's on the field, your opponent's monsters lose 500 attack, I believe. Yep. Actually, wait. Yeah, and if you fusion summon with it on your field, your monsters gain 500 attack. Prank Kids Pranks. I'll talk about this one later because quite a lot to go through it. Mystical Space Typhoon, obviously quite an important card for just targeted removal and very good against pendulums or trap tricks, things like that. Called by the Grave is, I run it mostly to stop Ash Blossom because if you draw this first turn and they try and Ash Blossom you, you can, completely just still do your turn, whereas if you don't, Ash Blossom means you're stuck where you are unless you have a fusion and another Prank Kids in hand. This is the fusion spell, this is your polymerization. Running a normal poly is very good for Prank Kids, and I am thinking about replacing Mystical Space Typhoon with some polys. I'm unsure as of yet, but like Mayakashi is what one of my friends plays quite a lot, and the Zombie World Rivalry of Warlords combo is too impossible to ignore, so yeah. But the only negative with this is then you can only summon Prank Kids monsters from your extra deck, and it has to be for a Prank Kids monster, of course, to fuse. So it is basically just your Prank Kids poly, but if you want to summon Abyss Dweller, totally awesome, an access code, Nightmare Unicorn, Appaloosa, what else is there, King of Calamities, things like that. If you want to try and get them out, do it after that. Make sure to fuse last, or in your opponent's turn is a good one, because it is quick play, and that's very important, and we'll talk about later. Compulsory Evacuation Device, it's a control deck. There are a lot of cards that are like cannot be destroyed. This helps with that because it just pops them back to the hand or pops them back into the extra deck. Infinite Impermanence, Hand Trap, or just negate, very good. I don't know if I talked about Forbidden Droplet. Forbidden Droplet, great in any deck. It's another negate, Solemn Judgment, a negate. And Prank Kids Plan, this means you can link summon during your opponent's turn, but only once. So if you fuse and make something and special summon a whole load of Prank Kids in your opponent's turn, you can then link them away immediately. That's pretty good. But I often just send it to the graveyard by Fansies because, where is it? You can banish this card from your graveyard, shuffle any number of Prank Kids cards from your graveyard into your deck, and if you do, your opponent's attacking monster loses 100 attack for each card shuffled. So that has won me games, but it normally won't, it just means you can get your deck back. Prank Kids Plan is a card I avoided, so you can use it while it's on the field, it's continuous so it stays, as a way to special summon a Prank Kids by getting rid of your Pandemonium or something, or one of your monsters if you've already summoned. So it's a way around Ash Blossom, potentially. It cannot be tributed, so it can only be used for like link summons and stuff. During your end phase, this is the main effect, you can target 3 Prank Kids in your graveyard, except pranks, and shuffle all 3 of them into your deck, then draw a card. So it gives you a bit of draw power at the end of the turn and returns cards from your deck. Sorry. From your graveyard to your deck. Very important card, and especially in the longer games. Now, the extra deck. I've briefly gone over Meow Meow Mew. Very strong card. Doodle Doodle Doo. I'm so sorry about all the names of the cards. Basically what this does is, apart from using it to special summon more monsters with the Prank Kids effect, it adds a Prank Kids spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So place, pranks, or pandemonium, or plan, but normally you won't go for plan. Place or pandemonium will be your two most common ones, mostly pandemonium. So you'll use this to search out for your fuse. And then we've got Bow Bark. Oh wait, and his other effect is during your turn, you contribute this card and then target 2 Prank Kids in your graveyard with different names that aren't links and add them to your hand. This also works for fusion monsters. You can add them back to your extra deck so that you can fuse them again. So I only run 1 Battle Butler, and that's not normally a problem because normally I can get a second Battle Butler out anyway, if I need to. Bow Bark, kind of similar. So his effect is, when he's summoned, it gives a Prank Kids monster this card points to, so normally directly below or to the right. Normally directly below, sometimes to the right. It'll give them 1000 attack, good for getting over big beefy monsters. During your opponent's turn, you contribute it, and then target 2 Prank Kids in your graveyard and add them to your hand. Now, Prank Kids monsters you control cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. It can still be banished or bounced, but not destroyed, so it gets you around Raigeki and other effects. Like it might even get you around Nibiru. I haven't tried that, but you probably have to use it before Nibiru's activation. The only other extra deck monsters for Prank Kids are Rocket Ride, which is effectively, you can use it to special summon from your graveyard. So that's normally what you'll use it for. Weather Washer, you can use it to, during your opponent's turn, you can special summon 2 from your graveyard. I believe they can't be fusion. Yeah, they can't be fusion, and they can't be destroyed by battle, so it's a good way to just wall, especially if you put them in defense position. Main effect though, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step, meaning things like Mirror Force, Sky Striker Ray, I believe. Anything that your opponent would do while you're trying to attack, completely gone. So things that are like, you can't attack because it will make your cards attack 0. So Karibo or the Crusadia Max card, doesn't happen. Good way around it. And the last but not least, the big boss monster, Battle Butler. So when this card is tributed, you can destroy all monsters your opponent controls. There you go. So with Meow Meow Mew, if you've got multiple in the graveyard, you can do this like 4 times turn. Yeah. Oh wait, no, you can only use this effect. I've used it twice once, so I don't know why that happened. That must have been a glitch. But you can get rid of a Meow Meow Mew and do it twice 1 turn. So that's 2 Raigekis for free in your opponent's turn at quick effect activation time. It's mad, absolutely mad. And then if it's destroyed by your opponent for any reason, you can choose 1 non-fusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it. And it doesn't have to be a Prank Kid. So this works very well with a control strategy because of the free Raigeki. Hence, I've added quite a common one, Totally Awesome, because you can make this with your Dropsies, and then it's just a negate, and then you can add one of your Dropsies back to your hand. And Abyss Dweller, you can make this with Roxy's, and this can stop effects in the opponent's graveyard. The only other 2 cards I've got here are Nightmare Unicorn, which is just a staple really, it goes well in most decks, just to pop a card from the field to the opponent's hand, or your hand if need be, and Access Code Talker because it's ridiculous. You can just say you make it with Doodle Doodle Doo, that's 4,300 attack, that's over half your opponent's life, and you can just banish link monsters in your graveyard, which you're likely to have a lot of, and wipe most of your opponent's field, and they can't do anything about it because your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response. So it's ridiculous. I'll quickly go over the budget version and then show you some games and walk through the combos. So in the budget version, you'll notice Ash Blossom and Solemn Judgment. Well, there are still a few ultra rares, and most of them are because you get them with the specials. So I thought, or in the tutorial. So I thought they were good to include. Still got all your neutral, non-rare, Prank Kids monsters, Raigeki, Harpies, Poly I mentioned is good. Monster Reborn is always good. Extra Pranks because you got the room. Extra Mystical Space Typhoon. And then I added Forbidden Chalice because you can use it kind of like an Infinite Impermanence where it negates your opponent. Torrential Tribute is a very strong card, so especially if you can make it so you've got all of your materials to fusion summon on your opponent's turn in your hand, you can then flip that and have 3 Raigekis in one turn. Compulsory Evacuation and the rest are there, of course. And you'll notice the extra deck is mostly the same. I've just added in an extra Weather Washer because you have the room. You could also add in an extra Bowel Bark and Rocket Rides to your like budget. So yeah, let me go ahead and show you guys some replays. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to try and show you a standard turn 1 with Prank Kids. I won't speed it up. So any Prank Kid into Meow Meow Mew is your first move. Depending on your hand, depends on which one you use. Torrential Tribute is okay to get rid of. Bring out a different Prank Kid. Very important that they're a different Prank Kid. Bring out Doodle Doodle Doo. Now, this is where things can change. So, you'll see in my hand I already have a Pandemonium, which is the fusion spell. So I don't need to search for a fuse. So I can search for a Prank Kid's Place instead, to add another Prank Kid to my hand and to have all of the positive effects. This is good because in this case, I have a Roxy's and a Lampsies in the graveyard. Now I'm going to want to add the monsters from my graveyard back to my hand to make the fusion. So I'll sack away the Lampsies and bring out probably a Dropsies. And then all I need is Fansies. So I can use the Prank Kid's Place to search for Fansies, or I can do it a different way. I don't remember how I did it this time. So here we go, does 500 damage into the Dropsies. Bring in the Place. Play the Place. Search for Fansies. I'll tribute the Doodle Doo. Oh, okay, I'm going for a bit more of a complicated one this time. So, into Weather Washer. I don't fully know why I did that, but there must be a reason. I'm not going to use this one. What am I doing? Oh wait, no, this does work. This does work, ignore me. So then bring back out the Lampsies, bring back out the Fansies. Then I discard that, search for the last materials I need. That's okay. I don't know why I prioritized Weather Washer there, but there must have been a reason. Now, this is where it all comes into play. You'll notice I didn't fuse into my boss monster yet. I will do it on their turn. So far, so good. Just letting my opponent play their turn. I do apologise for the costs. I've got COVID this time. Getting rid of their Virtual World Gate. Not sure if that's a good idea because they can banish it from the graveyard. Okay, now they have a board and they're going to Synchro Summon. But it doesn't matter because I can fuse. So I fuse into Battle Butler. Important thing to note is while Prank Kid's Place goes off as well, which is great, and all my monsters get bigger, all of my Prank Kid's effects will go off again because it's not my turn. This is a different turn. So I can special summon 3 Prank Kids monsters from my deck, gain 1000 life, deal 500 damage, sack something to the graveyard. This was before I played Abyss Dweller or Totally Awesome, because I didn't have them at the time. That's why I don't think I should have destroyed it, but I get to wipe their board and keep my monsters because of Meow Meow Mew. So that's the basic gist of Prank Kids right there. Now, I can wipe his board again and still have lethal as well, because I don't actually need my Battle Butler. So it just depends on what he makes. Or I can just bounce stuff to his hand. He keeps going. I Battle Butler again. Literally, he's done so much, and all he's got for it so far is 1 monster on the field. 2 monsters on the field, so he's still going to be able to synchro, which is lame. So he's going to destroy one of my monsters. But he didn't expect the Prank Kids Plan. Such a good card to have in your graveyard at all times. And then I return the Battle Butler back to my deck, which means I can make it again. I just return all of my cards back to my deck, just to make him take as much damage as possible. He hasn't got anything in hand. I'm just ready to crush him next turn, effectively. And he very kindly added my Meow Meow back. Now, there we go. I've got a Raigeki. Even if he plays a monster now, I can Raigeki wipe it. So there you go. Effectively a turn 1 win. I just turn them all face up and go for face. I will find a game with a bit more of a standard combo. Yeah, end it there. Well, I'll let you guys see the big, nice, flashy finish. Yeah. And another thing to note, that is a flat game. So like, while it was Virtual World, and against decks such as Dryton or Tri-Brigade you may struggle more, that was a pretty good battle. I'll show you a different game. Hopping into game number 2. This one is against a gold, or in gold elo, but it was right at a rank reset, so players from all over the shop were everywhere. I'm just going to go for the stand combo, let's see if they stop me. No. So Latmu's Fancies and Lampsies are in the graveyard, so if I bring out a Dropsies, all I need to do is pop my Duel Do, put them back in my hand. He Max Seed too late. If you see a Prank Kid come out, like you're against Prank Kids, immediately Max Seed. They need special summon early. So he draws 1 card. I add the fusion spell from my deck to my hand, and I add the 2 more fusion materials I need from my deck to my hand. And there we go. So now I'm just gonna place some spells. And it's once again important to remember, don't fuse on your turn, fuse on their turn. It means your effects will pop, and also you can't use Battle Butler on your turn anyway. It's quick play, you can use it to react. I could Solemn Judgment that, or I can... I know I didn't see a special summon, but I quite like using Maxi as a way to just put your opponent off. I don't know what they are playing. I think I was worried they were playing like a DD Dynamite deck, and I don't really know what to do against this yet, so I just tried to negate it. I realise now that would be stupid, but it looks like they're playing Eldritch. I special summon up so they can't negate it later, or can't like do a trap that activates on my special summon. Not activate all the effects, gain some life back, drop another card in the grave and deal some damage. Special summon 3 more. I think I should go for Abyss Dweller here really. I got the Dropsy there because otherwise I couldn't get Dropsy. Obviously they can't call that own thing out. While my opponent is playing weird, the actual combo I'm making here is like your standard every game combo. So now he's got 2 spell cards on the field. I'd love a Harpies. Double Mystical Space Typhoon. I'm doing this just in case one of them activates on my summon. And that's game. So there's your basic Prank Kids combo. There are other combos you can go into, but for budget Prank Kids, that'll get you through. The only other combo is using a fusion with Doodle Doo before you tribute Doodle Doo, and then bringing it back out to get an extra card on the field. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a bit about Prank Kids, and maybe try them out. Let me know if you fight me on the ladder, and you know how annoying or how easy I am to beat. So yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully the next video won't have such a big gap. Bye guys.